Broadcasting live from a soggy Sherwood Forest, live on a Wednesday. I am not your usual affable midday chat host. I'm your chubby Jewish evening chat host. I'm Mark Ehrman for Eric Von Hessler. The Von Hessler Doctrine starts now. Joining me live in studio, a couple of the doctrinaires, the man of 1,000 voices, and my baseball card buddy, Tim Andrews. Jared Yamamoto, the second most handsome producer in all producery behind Low T Chuck. He joins us here.
What's up, man?
And executive producer of the Mark Arum Show, Deborah Green, coming in early today. Thank you, Deborah, for doing that.
No worries.
Alan Hunt is on the other side of the takeout window. Autumn Fisher will join us shortly. We're here for 3 fun hours on a Wednesday. I know traffic's still bad out there. It's wet. It's drying out, and maybe snow tomorrow. So Kirk Mellish will keep us up to date on the forecast coming up. I was worried about, so I got the call last night from our new boss, our new dad, Drew Anderson, who said that Eric was sick. Were called in sick yesterday for today, Jared. And you can talk. I don't know if Eric allows you to talk.
No, we're not allowed to talk.
Not until the first
not the preamble.
Oh, no, you guys are allowed to talk
Okay.
anytime you want. So I got a call yesterday. I was on the air. I was filling in for Erickson, and Drew Anderson, our new dad, was like, "Hey, Eric's sick. Can you call in?" So I was worried about Eric. Because coronavirus. I mean, we hear it on Atlanta's Morning News every day. Sabrina Cupid, our health reporter, people are dying, more cases, quarantines, et cetera, et cetera. So we got Eric's doctor on the line. I just wanted to check the qualifieds of Eric's doctor to make sure he could or could not diagnose Eric's coronavirus. So who's the doctor here, Jared?
I believe this is from Cannonball Run.
Oh, you just blew the illusion.
I'm Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, professor of proctology and other related tendencies, graduate of the University of Rangoon, and assorted night classes at the Knoxville, Tennessee College of Faith Healing.
All right, so he's a proctologist. So Eric does not have the coronavirus, but he is seeing a proctologist. Perhaps the best movie doctor of all time, Cannonball Run. That guy, Tim.
I know what you're talking about. Jack Elam was hilarious in both of those movies.
And if you think, and there's a lot of would-be actors in Atlanta right now,
Yes.
right? Because it's the Hollywood of South. And if you think, I'm not good enough looking to be an actor, an actress, just Google that scene from Cannonball Run and look what the doctor looks like. And that guy had a long Hollywood career. So you could be odd-looking. And everyone here is good looking except for me. So the people out there.
Oh, that is not true.
I'm only wearing makeup. That's why. So if you want to have an acting career, you don't have to be Brad Pitt or Jennifer Aniston. You could look like the proctologist in Cannonball Run and be just fine. So anyway, Eric's okay though, right? He doesn't have corona. I haven't heard from him personally.
You know, this is the first time he's ever called out 2 consecutive days before, since I've worked with him at least. And so I'm a little worried about him. I think that he had mentioned earlier about some stuff going on in the kidneys. So hopefully it's not that.
All
but
those honey buns?
Potentially all those honey buns.
No,
You
I
know,
bet
he
it
changed
was-
his diet about 6 months ago, but it's all catching up to him now.
Honestly, and this is no joking aside, he switched from honey buns to like the seeds, right?
Yeah, the sunflower seeds.
I bet they're stuck in his lower intestine.
Why, you think he has diverticulitis?
Something like that.
Because that's,
yeah.
that's what captures the nuts.
Exactly right. I know I can't give them to my dogs. The seeds get stuck in the lower intestine. So, all right. Anyway, keep us up to date. If you
Absolutely.
want to call him during the news and see if he's all right.
I'm worried about him.
Yeah, I am too. So maybe he'll come in.
I had to send him a nice text last night saying, hey, you know what? It's okay. Take your time. He felt guilty about missing 2 days straight. But I was like, take your time, man. Make sure we want you 100% before you're coming back.
All right. Maybe he was really upset about all the Trump pardons and commutations. That was the big political story that popped yesterday. President Donald J. Trump using his executive authority and pardoning or commuting sentences for some well-named folks, including former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich.
He'll be able to go back home with his family after serving 8 years in jail. That was a tremendously powerful, ridiculous sentence, in my opinion.
So Blagojevich was the senator that was caught red-handed trying to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat. So when Barack Obama was elected president, it left his Senate seat vacant in Illinois. And Blagojevich was basically like, this is my golden ticket. I'm not giving this thing away for free. I mean, he was dead rights, just guilty. And he was found guilty. And the president commutes his sentence.
Well, 8 years is a long time. And let me tell you, it was sort of harsh for the governor.
What's crazy is that Blagojevich was a Democrat. I don't know if he still is. He might be Republican now that Trump pardoned him.
Called himself a Trumpocrat.
Yeah, but the Republicans in Illinois are fuming because, everyone talks about Chicago politics, Illinois. It's like the most corrupt place in the world. And then the most corrupt guy ever, the governor, has just been sentence commuted, and he's home free now. So that's an interesting story. President Trump announces to reporters that he's pardoned some other folks that we might have heard of.
We have Bernie Carrick. We have Mike Milken, who's gone around and done an incredible job for the world with all of his research on cancer.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot tells reporters that President Trump is the worst person around to have the pardon or commutation powers.
President Trump is probably the least credible person to make this decision, given what he's done over and over again to thumb his nose at. One of the core principles of our democracy is that no one is above the law, and not him.
Now, I'm not going to get political on you on why he did this. Apparently, a couple of the guys, Cleric was a buddy of Giuliani's. Blagojevich was on The Apprentice, I think, right? Celebrity Apprentice. So, I mean, the pundits are saying, these are pals, and that's why he did it. And other pundits are saying, well, he's just setting the precedent for when he lets Flynn off the hook or Roger Stone. And this way, he's like, getting some of the high-profile pardons out of the way so he can do that again coming up. I don't know his intentions. I've long stopped trying to figure out what President Trump is doing. But I do see an escalation post-Mueller report and post-impeachment that dude's he's just flexing his muscles now, right? So he's basically untouchable.
Gloves are off.
The gloves are off. Retribution, pardon. He doesn't care. He said yesterday he's the nation's legal top law enforcement officer. He's pushing Barr around. It's just this crazy escalation of powers that we're seeing. And I'm not judging him. Lord knows what I would do if I was president. I mean, who knows? If you give me that power, what I would do.
What would happen under an Arum presidency?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to imagine what would happen. Like an Arum on a school board or a city council, I'd be drunk with power. So I'm not passing judgment. I'm just laying out the land. But I think the next escalation of the Trump powers, because he's already referred to him, and a lot of his critics are saying he's made himself the king now because he is above the law and he can do all these things, blah, blah, blah. I think the next step in his evolution here is basically the papalhood, right? He's already been the president. He's kind of king-like, and I think the next thing he's going to do is dub himself with Pope-like powers. And the number one Pope power, I'll go to our resident Catholic on the show here, Deb Green. What power do priests have?
What power do priests have?
Yes.
What, they make laws within the church?
Well, yeah, but like day to day, what's the one power that priests have day to day?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because you never go to confession. The power of absolution, right? Isn't that the big power?
So, sure.
What do you mean? You can prevent someone from going to hell. That's a pretty big power, right? Have you ever gone? When's the last time you've been to confession?
You have to go every week.
You have to, even if you haven't sinned?
Yes.
So what do you do if you haven't sinned? I'm a Jewish guy asking questions
You
here.
just sit there and talk.
You just sit there and talk?
You can let it build up, but you should go every
You'll be doing a lot of Hail Marys if you let it build up.
So
It's just easier to go
let's
every week.
assume, I assume you're an angel anyway, but let's just assume from last Sunday to next Sunday, you commit no sins whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the confessional, and what do you, don't give me a personal example of what you say to the priest,
Sure.
but
you could just tell that, I think you would look for ways that maybe you could have been better, right?
Okay.
That's the next thing.
I could have brought Mark an egg and cheese biscuit on Wednesday
Something
morning.
like that, sure.
Or
Okay.
you were prideful because you didn't commit any sin.
Right?
And you were bragging about it.
Really?
Yeah, that's a sin.
Yep.
Interesting. So what I want to do is, we're lucky enough to have President Trump here joining us with his newly dubbed papal powers.
Pope of D.C.
And what I want to do is, I just want to have some fun. And we're allowing phone calls today on the Von Haessler Doctrine. So we dusted off the lines. Justin Ovey's going to screen your calls at 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. With President Trump's new papal powers of absolution, want him to absolve you of your sins. So very simple. You call 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. You can give your real name, a fake name, whatever you want, and tell us a sin that has been bugging you, that is on your mind, and then the president will decide whether or not you are absolved of your sin. For example, let's just say I'm Catholic and I want absolution.
You don't have to be. I'm not Catholic.
For President Trump. I don't even know if this is sin, but when I was in high school, I lusted after my friend's sister.
Sin.
His older. That is a sin, right?
You're forgiven.
I didn't act on it, but that's always weighed heavily. I never told him. I never told my friend Jeff that I really liked his older sister Karen.
Well, Mark, let me put my hand on your shoulder. I want you to go home and do 78 renditions
Okay.
of Apache.
78.
78.
Interesting.
Tonto,
All right.
jump on it. I want the whole thing.
Okay, fantastic.
That's your thing, rap songs.
That's it. All right, I've got more sins I'm going to lay out, and then President Trump can. You have the power to absolve or not absolve. By the way, if you think the sin is too
Blah,
great,
blah, blah, you're absolved.
if you think the sin is too great, you can cut it. Jared, do you want to confess any sins to the papal President Trump?
I do. I did not go to the gym yesterday, and I promised myself that I would.
So you
go to the
lied to
gym.
yourself.
I would. I did.
All
I
right,
lied.
you go home and sing all the Marshmallow songs.
Okay, I could do that, President Trump.
All right, there you go. That's simple. I want to hear your sins, and if they're really, really bad, you can use a fake name. I won't judge you. President Trump will judge you. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. It's the Von Hessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB. Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler, 48 soggy degrees on Peachtree Street. President Trump exercising his new papal powers. See how we do as a pope, exonerating you from your sins. What's the Catholic term there?
Absolving.
Deborah? Absolving you of your sins. Again,
There's two Catholics on this. She's a
my-
better one than me.
She is the best Catholic
Well,
I've
you
ever
think.
known. Yes, she doesn't eat anything in Lent. Not just meat. She doesn't eat anything. Just,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
do eat a little bit. I'm allowed to eat a little bit. I
She-
just can't eat certain things.
She drinks Evian and chews on chiclets for the entire period of Lent. So President Trump in studio, you confess your sins, and then Mr. President will either absolve you or not. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Pete is in Gainesville. Pete, welcome to the show. What is your sin, my friend?
Guys and everybody, Tim, my sin is, if you ever seen the movie 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton and Dabney Coleman back in the day, it's kind of an oldie but a goodie.
Great movie. Holy Merd.
Yeah, exactly. So lying, hypocritical, egotistical, loudmouth, foul
Wrong,
mouth.
wrong. You're a lying, hypocritical, bigot.
Yeah, I'm not the last one though.
What's the
'cause
sin?
that's you.
What's the sin, though, buddy?
Exactly.
I mean, all that stuff, man. Just in general, lying, egotistical. No, lying, selfish, egotistical, lying, hypocritical. Yeah, just all that
So what's your sin?
and
Yeah.
more. Fill in the blanks.
What does that have to do with 9 to 5? Are you saying you're Dabney Coleman? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's a real life Dabney Coleman. Is he absolved there, Mr. President? or-
Well,
I
look,
think you should turn him from a rooster to a hen.
Look, you could do that, but I don't like violence. What I want you to do is go home, tie yourself up until your wife gets back from her month-long vacation.
Exactly. That was a really good movie, by the way.
Yes,
9
it
to
was.
5.
Jane Fonda.
Is Dabney Coleman? Let me ask Tim Andrews for a second. One of the most underrated actors of all time.
Oh, he was ubiquitous in the 80s, and yes, he was a good actor.
And he was really good in the HBO show Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah, as the Colonel?
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Dabney Coleman. Good stuff. Rooster's up next on the program. Rooster, what's your sin, my friend?
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Rooster. What's up?
Well, I have on the regular put the toilet paper roll on upside down.
Well, have we ever decided, Mr. President,
Yeah.
which is the best way to do it?
I leave it on the back.
I do too, sadly. Autumn, you're our resident good housekeeping kind of gal. Which is the
Okay.
which is the proper way to hang the toilet paper roll?
It's over.
Over.
Of
Agreed.
course it's over.
It's always
Every time I
over?
go to my parents' house, it's always under, and I switch them all around.
Don't in Australia? Don't you do it under though, or is that the toilet the way
because
it
it's
flushes?
the other side of the world.
The
Yeah.
toilet flushes the other way.
All right, so upside down rooster is that
Well,
a
first
sin?
of all, she's a hen, and second of all, Rooster, you're absolved.
Absolved? No Hail Marys, nothing. She has to clean the bowl or something.
No Hail Marys, but you have to go home and read a book of poetry
Wow, I'd rather clean the toilet bowl than read a book of poetry.
while you're cleaning
Thank
the
you,
toilet.
Mr. President.
You're welcome.
By the way, so it's ironic. Let me go back to our good housekeeping lady, Autumn.
Okay.
So
That
I
makes me
actually
laugh every
cleaned my
time.
bathroom yesterday because I was filling in for Erickson and I got home early, and I stopped at Publix where shopping is a pleasure, and I bought a can of Ajax. You remember
sure.
Ajax?
The powder?
Yeah, the powder. I hadn't seen that since I was like 9. My mom used to use that stuff all the time. And I was like, oh my God, that's still a thing. So I bought the Ajax and I
You
cleaned.
just smelled it.
It reminded me of
the
childhood.
memories.
It literally brought
You
me back
started crying,
to.
Mommy.
Well,
I'm a spick and
I
span
teared up.
guy. Sorry, spick and span.
But Jared, have you ever even heard of
Listen,
Ajax?
Sometimes I just take a little, I make a little pool of pine sol in the corner of a room just so it smells
That's
nice.
my aunt used to have a cleaning lady. She was a rich lady, and the cleaning lady used to use Pine Sol. So anytime I smell that, I think I'm in a rich person's house. Like for I have this memory, like, oh, that's the way rich people's house smells, like Pine Sol. My bathroom now smells like Ajax. None of you needed to know that. Sorry. Hugh is up next on the program. Hugh, what's your sin, buddy?
Well, we don't have time to talk about all of them, but my main question is, you mentioned that a person could almost go a week without sinning. Maybe if the president's there, just ask him how long he's gone without sinning.
What, Mr. President? That's a great question. What's
It
the
is a
longest?
great question, I'll tell you. I have gone 4.5 years without sin. And I'll tell you, I didn't even have any lustful thoughts. I didn't think of anything. I didn't covet anybody's neighbors. I'm good.
Oh.
Yeah, so 4.5 years apparently is the record.
So you're looking at the 10 big sins then. You must be looking at the real big ones.
I don't have any idols.
No false idols,
I honored
anyway.
my mother and my father. Well, yeah, I idolize myself, but I'm real.
Yeah, you're a gold. You truly are a golden idol. That's right. Wasn't it the golden idol in the Bible?
It was a calf.
The golden calf. Yes, you are.
Ernest Borgnine's calf. Or was it? No, it wasn't Ernest Borgnine. Sorry.
Let's see. More sins. Steve's in Snellville. Steve, confess your sins to the president, my friend.
Yes, bless me, Mr. President, for I sinned. My name is actually Ted, and I'm already dead.
Okay.
I used to.
Are you
used
red?
To be a politician.
That's what he said.
And still in bed?
I used to be a politician in my past life, and I had a bad drinking problem, and also would drive when I was drinking. And since I died, I haven't been able to find anybody to forgive my sins.
Did you have a trouble on the Chappaquiddick Bridge, Ted? Is that what you're referring to?
Maybe.
So I have a serious question. So the Kennedys were. Thank you. Is he absolved? Is Senator
never.
Kennedy never absolved? Of course not. The Kennedys were Catholic, Deb Green, right?
Yes.
So Ted Kennedy, if he was a devout Catholic, he would have confessed any sins to the
should
priest.
have, yes.
Now, is the priest, is it like attorney-client privilege there, or the?
Yes.
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
So-
absolutely, yeah.
So if he confessed to a murder, the priest can't drop a dime on him?
Nope.
I don't know about that.
They
Jared-
can,
Yeah.
but
Well, again, you can, right? Like you don't have to go to confession, but yeah, they're not.
But the priest, is it if Jared commits?
if he doesn't go to the gym and tells the priest, the priest can't tell Christina.
Yes. Interesting. I don't know. Fact check that when we come back. Write that down, Cheney B. Coming back after news, weather, and traffic. More of your sins with the president. 404-872-0750. Airman for Von Hessler on the Doctrine. Welcome back. Mark Arum filling in on the highly rated Von Hessler Doctrine. Speaking of ratings, guys, you see the January book?
Yes.
Good job.
Thank
it's all
you.
Jared.
Good job. Well, I was talking to Deb Green, actually. Good job, Deb.
I get double.
Yeah, we finally caught up to the Von Hessler Doctrine on the Mark
Bravo,
Arum Show,
guys.
6 to 8 p.m., so you can check us out. We're going to bring some of the Mark Arum staples in. In fact, Millennial Match Game we're going to play in just 30 minutes. But right now, we're talking about President Trump's pardons and commutations of sentences. Blagojevich, the former New York police chief, all this stuff, and he's catching some flack. I'm not here to judge, but I think it's another step of President Trump flexing his muscles post impeachment and being like, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. I think the next step is to get the papal powers of absolving of sins. So President Trump joins us here to absolve you of your sins. I thought of another sin during the break. This one actually is a real one, and it kind of bugs me still. When I was a waiter in college, we had the thing at the restaurant where parties of 8 or more, you automatically add 15% gratuity. And I had this party of like 15 people, and I told the guy, I was like, hey, don't worry about it, tip is included. He had a little too much Chianti, and either he didn't hear me or he thought I was amazing, and he tipped me like 30% on top of whatever the 15% was. And I didn't say anything because I was a poor college kid. I was like, that's like an extra $80, and I've always felt bad at that. President Trump, am I absolved? What do I have to do there?
You didn't even commit a sin. It's his fault for being so drunk. I don't drink. I'm never overtipped.
And so I'm good with that.
You're fine.
It's bugged me for 25 years.
I've had that. When I worked at the W, there were all these businessmen that would come in and they would be impressing their clients.
Yeah.
And there would be groups of 20 dudes. And I added gratuity to them, and they didn't pay attention, and they tipped on top of it. So one night, I made like $400 off of one check.
Well, that is a sin, because I definitely told
Theft.
him. Yeah, that's theft by taking right there. What were you wearing as you were at the W? What was the outfit there?
Oh, it wasn't as bad. It was so the W's that are now like in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to wear like the shortest thing. They're wearing like heels.
Yeah.
No, I just had to wear all black.
Okay, all right, very
But
nice.
I was propositioned. Guys would come up and say like, "Hey, here's my room key. You want to come upstairs?"
Well, I mean, that's the only appropriate place to give a woman a room key is in a hotel. So I get that.
I mean, I said yes.
Exactly right. So your sins, and we'll see if the president absolves you or not. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We have one on the open mic, Jared?
Yeah, right here.
Bless me, Trump, for I have sinned. It has been 1,000 years since my last confession. I confess that my husband annoyed me, so I took his Madden game and put it in the microwave for a few seconds. And so now it doesn't work because he kept playing it really loud at night, and it was annoying. Bless me.
She said the Madden game, like Madden
she's
football?
A hero.
Oh.
She's a hero. Someone make a statue for her.
I don't know. That's more. Madden is more addicting than heroin to
it's
some
so
dudes.
much fun.
Yeah.
So many wasted hours playing Madden.
Indeed. I had to throw mine away. President Trump, would you absolve her?
I did not, and let me tell you why. Because Barron plays a lot of these games, and a lot of times he's playing Madden, and I felt like putting it in the microwave myself. I said, "Well, do something good with it." But no, a man's video game is a man's video game.
Bless me.
Have you seen Barron Trump recently? He's like 6'9" all of a sudden.
He's taller than me.
He went from like this little kid to he's huge. Power forward for the Hawks.
You should see him. He picks me up and puts him on his shoulders and wanders around us.
He's unbelievable. 404-872-0750. Delicious is in Sugar Hill. Delicious. Confess your sin to the president. Delicious.
Hey guys.
Not what I was expecting.
I know. I really wanted something different.
Put the bong down.
So, Mr. President, I don't know if this is actual sin, but so I used to be on a dating app, met my current wife, happily married. We go in to do our taxes, and sitting there is a girl that I used to hook up with, date on the app. Her husband's there. My wife knows the husband.
Ooh.
And we look at each other and introduce ourselves like we don't know each other.
As Belinda Skelton would say, I want to know more about that.
That's a story to tell.
Wow. So you and the woman knew that you'd hooked up, but did your wife know that you'd hooked up with the tax lady?
No. So we did not know. Like, we acted like we didn't know each other.
Gotcha.
She didn't know I knew her. She knew her husband, who was sitting there. They say hey to each other. And then me and the girl I used to date look at each other, lock eyes, and just introduce ourselves again like we didn't know each other.
That's called respect.
Was the girl a former waitress at the W? No?
No, not quite. I did not give
All
a
right,
room
President, that's a lot to unwrap, Mr. Trump. What do we think?
Look, I don't see a sin.
Yeah.
Where's the sin?
Yeah.
You know, you did. I wouldn't say anything either. So no absolvement, but if you feel guilty, I guess just apologize to this guy.
I would delete the app off your phone first. Delete the dating app now that you're married.
I think there's an ancient
that is
proverb.
deleted. Long time deleted.
Okay.
So.
What's the proverb there, Autumn?
I think there's an ancient proverb about deceiving the women in order to protect the women, something like that.
Yeah,
right?
deceive. Yet you deceive.
It's called respect. Listen, you don't do things in front of the boss. Yes, sneak around.
You deceive them to prevent harm, and in the Old Testament it was plural. You deceive your wives to prevent harm.
Thou shalt lie to thine wife for thine respect.
Exactly. Hank is up next. Hank, welcome to the von Hessler Doctrine. What's your sin?
Well, I don't like Eric von Hessler, but I love the Doctrinaires.
Wow, President Trump. That's
I feel the same way.
Oh, that's. I mean, listen. At least you listen, Hank. Right? Eric doesn't care if you like him or not, as long as you're listening. So yeah, that's not a sin, right?
No, he doesn't care how you vote or who you vote for.
Yeah, exactly. Paul is in Rome, Georgia. Beautiful Rome, Georgia. Paul, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Mr. President, my sin is adultery. I've been cheating on Eric Von Hessler by listening to Mark Arum and Radio Labyrinth and Power Pop.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
I like that. There we go.
Hey,
What's the matter, Autumn?
what about one topic, buddy?
No,
That's a sin.
we're going to get to another topic. We're going to get to another topic, Autumn. Don't worry. We're not.
No, that's not. No, it's my show.
I
It's one
know.
topic. Come on.
Are you kidding
Now
me?
that's the sin.
I've
This guy
downloaded it
has
on my app.
sinned.
No, listen, you're our favorite kind of listener that listens to all the varietiles of shows on the air.
By the way, Pope Trump, adultery is not a sin. Just so you know.
Yeah, as long as it's
Let
between...
ye without a stone cast the first sin.
Speaking of which, that actually brings up a good topic for me. You know what, Jared, remind me later. I've got a new topic for next half hour that it just sparked in my head.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it'll be a fun one. I could be wrong. Don Vito's in Sicily. The boot, south of the boot in Italy. Don Vito, what is your sin for President Pope Trump?
Well, Cynthia, I just want to tell the president who I own that I always want the best for you and Michael. Fredo, I couldn't do a whole lot with. But I think you guys are doing a good job. And I know when that trial comes up next month with me, I can count on my president, who I own, to say some kind words in my favor.
Would President Trump pardon Don Corleone?
Don Corleone? Of
Yeah.
course, he's a businessman. What do I know? He sells Genko olive oil. I don't know anything else about him. He's a very good olive oil salesman.
Genko olive oil. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Charlie's in Milton. Charlie, confess your sin to the president, my friend.
It's not just my sin, but it's probably the sins of definitely sins of my father and his brothers. But they used to run alcohol from the Lumpkin, Dawson County area down to Buckhead for the businessmen, the lawyers, the doctors, the politicians who will remain nameless.
When was this? When was this? Like what era?
This is back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and even currently.
So why post-prohibition did they have to run booze? Was it just moonshine and you couldn't get anywhere else?
Well, you have to have a license to make the stuff. And then if you're taking it down to Florida, also down to Panama City and St. George Island and places like that, that's across state lines, which brings you to the movie Smokey and the Bandit. They're transporting, Coors beer. Well, they did it down 400 for the movie. My dad and his brothers did it down Highway 9. There was no 400 back then.
But why couldn't the business owners buy liquor legally in Atlanta, Buckhead, or wherever?
Because it's only made to a certain proof. This stuff is
I got you. I got you. All right,
Yeah.
so, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, President Trump, but I don't see anything wrong with some good old moonshine runs.
If it's good enough for Joe Kennedy Sr., it's good enough for you.
That's how the Kennedys made their fortune.
That's how he made his money.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Charlie, are you continuing the family business?
I can't say.
What's the flavor? Do you have apple pie?
You can have peach, you can have apple, you can have apricot.
Wonderful.
Those are the main ones right there: peach, apple, and apricot.
How many fingers of your finest product would put Yamamoto under the table?
Let's just say that you can light it on fire.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, boy.
Well, Jared, you're a big festival goer. I'm imagining there's a lot of drinking involved in those music
No,
festivals.
of course not.
No,
Really?
there's a lot of eating.
Are you a teetotaler or do you imbibe?
Do I do what?
You drink.
No,
Yeah, of course,
He goes
yeah.
with his friend Molly.
Oh, wow. Who said? She's great. She's a great girl.
Paging Kathy Bates. We need the test kit in Studio A. Kathy Bates, we need the test kit in Studio A. Wow. Molly is a crazy girl. Steve is in Grayson. Steve, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, I'm calling on your behalf, actually, because I can't believe that you asked Autumn to fact-check something that she casually told you as being a fact regarding the priest. And,
No, I would never fact-check Autumn. I was fact-checking Deb Green, my producer. Did we fact-check it, by the way?
I mean, I just know that from being Catholic my entire life.
But I can't believe that if someone confessed a murder to a priest, the priest isn't legally bound to tell the authorities
I
there.
mean, they'll sit there and try to convince you to do it, but now if the police come and ask the priest, but the priest isn't going to run over to the police
all right.
station.
So in that situation,
Yes.
if Detective
Sipowicz
comes and says, Father Guido, did Jared commit?
Exactly. But he's not going to be like, oh, dude, look what I found out.
Oh,
He's
listen,
not going to do that.
I Googled it.
Yeah.
This is my research.
Okay.
Under Roman Catholic law, it is forbidden for a priest to disclose information under any circumstances obtained in the form of religious confession. If a priest breaks what's called the sacred seal of confession, he will be subject to excommunication from the church.
Thank you.
Interesting.
That's the worst thing a priest could ever do.
So even if Sipowicz comes...
That's the worst. There's nothing else that a priest could ever do. It will be worse than that.
Oh, my goodness. Well done. All right. I don't know. That's kind of messed up. I love the Catholic religion, but I mean, if I tell my rabbi that I slept with Yamamoto's fiance, he's going to tell.
Do you have a number?
Exactly right. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. We'll take a couple more confessions, then we'll play Millennial Match Game here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Filling in for Von Hessler on The Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Mark Arum for the legend, Eric Von Hessler, with you till noon today, finishing up with Papal Trump Confessions, the president as Pope, played by the man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews. Real quick, before we go back to the phones, Jared, you want to confess another sin?
I did. I thought about something that I'm very guilty of, actually.
Okay.
And that is when my friends...
Turn that down.
When my friends, we oftentimes we're going together in Ubers and Lyfts, and they'll send a split request to me.
Okay.
And I'm notorious for when I'm riding in the back seat for not accepting those split requests.
So you decline that.
I say that I'm going to accept it.
And you never do.
I never do.
Well, look, the Trump commandments do not recognize that as a sin. You are a smart businessman holding on to your money. Let them pay.
Exactly. They are gullible for believing that you're going to split the fare. Eddie, Eddie's in Marietta. Eddie, roll up your window or whatever and tell us your sin.
Okay, it's Edie.
Oh,
and
Edie.
How are you doing?
Good. What's your sin?
Hi, Eddie.
Well, hey, bless me, President Trump, for I have sinned, and my sin is temptation. Every end of winter to spring, the Girl Scout cookie mafia gets me under their control, and I buy 4 boxes of cookies.
They're bullies.
And I take them home and I eat all of them.
Oh.
So you've committed the sin of sloth, gluttony?
Yeah.
Well, no, not sloth, gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, absolutely. What do we think, Prez?
Well, Eddie.
It's for a good cause.
You're donating to the Girl Scouts.
Listen to Mother Teresa over there. It's a good cause.
Mother Deborah. Mother Deborah says you haven't committed a sin. Look, I get hungry. I buy cookies, and I'll eat the whole sleeve. Nutter Butters are the best, right, Mark?
Absolutely.
Am I right? Nutter Butters?
Love Nutter
Saturday
Butters.
mornings, Nutter Butters, the whole sleeve.
Exactly.
Jared's writing me a joke.
Jared's right. Thank you for the call, Edie. I goofed up and ordered 12 boxes from some of the sales staff, and they got delivered like 2 weeks into my pre-wedding diet. So I've got 12 boxes of Girl Scout cookies staring me in the face.
You just leave those in the newsroom. They'll be gone
Well,
in a
they're
minute.
hidden. They're hidden from Mark Alewine.
I'll eat them.
You'll eat them?
You got any dosey-dos?
I actually, my fiance requested I bring the Thin Mints home, and I've got the others here. We're going to take some more Trump confessions after the news, but we're also going to play Millennial Match Game. So here's what I need to do, Justin Ovey. I need 2 contestants for Millennial Match Game to call right now. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. News, weather, and traffic next. Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler on The Doctrine on WSB. Hour number 2 of the Von Hessler Doctrine starts right now. Is it starts right now? Continues right now? I forgot what he says. Anyway, I'm not Von Hessler. It starts right now. Thank you, Autumn. Fact-checking me throughout the broadcast today. I'm Mark Arum in for Eric, with you till noon. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Before we get back to the President Trump Pope absolvations and commutations and pardons and all that stuff, salutations, we have a segment I play on the Mark Arum Show every Monday and Wednesday, and it's called Millennial Match Game.
Let's play Millennial Match Game.
Always a good time and always fun to have from the WSB Digital Desk. She is the social media manager. says Scott Slade.
That's it.
Nicole Bennett, not Emmett. How are you, Nicole?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. So for the Von Hessler Doctrine fans that don't know what Millennial Match Game is, very simple. I come up with a category, or Deb Green comes up with a category, and then we will ask the millennial questions. And we've got contestants on the phone. The contestants, the listeners, don't need to know the answer. They just have to guess whether or not the millennial will know the answer. And when in doubt, the millennial does not know. That is basically the rule of thumb here. So let's meet our contestants on Millennial Match Game. We'll start off with JJ and Roswell. JJ, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. I'm married to a lovely lady named Betsy for 10 years now. We got 7 kids between us.
That's too many. That's too many kids.
Holy smokes.
Somebody call the police. That's too many kids.
How long did you live in Utah before you moved to Georgia?
0 time at all.
7 kids. Congratulations. Mazel tov on 10 years and 7 Bambinis. That's a lot of kids. All right. Are you familiar with Millennial Match Game, JJ? You know what's going on here?
Yeah, very familiar.
Okay, excellent. You're going to be playing against Dan in Commerce. Dan, tell the folks listening at home a little bit about yourself.
Morning, guys. Just living up in Commerce, loving life.
Nothing wrong with that. Beautiful old Commerce, loving life. All right, Dan, are you familiar with Millennial Match Game?
I am.
All right, very good. All right, so today's category, the contestants don't know, Nicole doesn't know, is TV Hangouts.
Oh.
TV Hangouts. So I'll give you an example. If I said the Peach Pit, that was a TV hangout for what show? Would you know the answer to that, Nicole?
Of course I would.
Tell me, what is it? No?
No, I don't
Would
know.
you Peach Pit, do you know what that was, Tim?
I don't.
90210.
Oh, I didn't watch
90210. All right.
Oh,
So this is gonna be. So that's the thing. I'm gonna give you a TV show hangout where people hang out on a TV show.
Okay.
How about this one? Another example. Central Perk.
Oh, Friends.
Friends,
Done.
exactly right. All right, so that's how the game works.
Okay.
So, Dan and JJ, you don't guess the answer. You just guess whether or not Millennial Nicole will know the answer. Very simple. Brought to you, as always, by Rocco's European Garage. We'll start with JJ. The first TV hangout is Kelsey's. Kelsey's. Will Millennial Nicole know a TV show at a hangout named Kelsey's?
I'm going to say no, she doesn't.
Yeah, when in doubt, the millennial doesn't know. No chance on this one, Nicole. Kelsey's, what TV show was that a hangout for?
I have no idea.
Take a shot in the dark.
Frasier.
That's actually a pretty good guess.
Because of...
All in the Family.
Oh.
Yes. As soon as I said it, Tim started nodding.
I ended up buying it.
How old are you, Nicole?
I am 29.
Have you ever seen All in the Family?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm familiar.
Okay, but you didn't know Kelsey's. All right.
No, I did not.
All right, so it's that easy. JJ gets the point. All right, here we go. Millennial Match Game. Question number 2 is for Dan. Dan, the name of the hangout is Bluth's Original Frozen Banana Stand. Bluth's Original Frozen Banana Stand. Will Millennial Nicole know what TV show hangout that is?
I'm going to say no.
You say no. Bluth's Original Frozen Banana Stand. Nicole, what TV show is that?
This is one of my favorite TV shows, Arrested Development.
Now the story of a wealthy family who lost everything.
That is
and
correct.
one son who had no choice
I've actually
but
never
to keep
seen
them
a
all
single
together.
episode of Arrested Development.
Oh.
Everyone says I would love it. No point for Dan. The millennial did know that one, Dan.
Wow.
I would. The Gen Xer didn't know, but the millennial did. All right, here we go. Millennial Match Game continues. JJ, the hangout is the Bronze. The Bronze. Bronze. Will Millennial Nicole know what TV show hangout the Bronze was?
I'm going to go no again.
I didn't know this, but Nicole is nodding like she knows. Nicole, what TV hangout was the Bronze?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Not the movie, right? This is the TV show?
Oh, the TV show. The TV show.
Yeah. I don't think, by the way,
Also one of my favorites.
the actress on in the movie, you remember the blonde?
Christy Swanson?
She is like a huge...
The right-wing Trump supporter.
Yeah, she's a big political force on Twitter right now.
She and Dean Cain.
Yeah. Is it Dean Cain too?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that. All right. So no point for JJ. That's good for you, Dan. You can get back in this game. The latest TV show hangout on Millennial Match Game is called The Warsaw Tavern. The Warsaw Tavern. Will Millennial Nicole know what TV show at a hangout called The Warsaw Tavern?
I'm going to say no.
You say no. I'm with you on that. The Warsaw Tavern, Nicole. What TV show is that?
I have no idea.
Take a shot, buddy.
MASH.
MASH is actually a really good guess, but no. The
Name the
Drew
show.
Carey Show. Oh, sorry.
Close.
Hey, Al, when I play the audio, just pot down the Millennial Match Game bed if you don't mind. My man. All right. You've heard of the Drew Carey Show, right?
Yes.
Can I tell you my Drew Carey Show story real quick? There you go. So I was in Mardi Gras in 1998, and I'm there with my buddy Nicky Bones, who is now a New York City detective, and we're standing on Bourbon Street, and Drew Carey was like the marshal of the Mardi Gras parade, and he's like walking through the crowd on Bourbon Street with like security around him, and Nick and I are standing on the curb, which is elevated. The curbs are higher in New Orleans, so we're like a foot up, and my buddy Nick grabs with his left hand the top of Drew Carey's head. And because, I mean, he's wasted at this point, my buddy Nick. I don't know if Drew was. And he just starts shaking it, and he goes, Jim Carrey!
Oh, no.
Jim Carrey! So that's a funny story, right? Like, hilarious. A month later, he's on Leno's show, Drew Carey, and he tells that story.
No.
He goes, just when you think you've reached the epitome of success and notoriety and fame, and he tells the story, my buddy Nick grabbing his head and calling him Jim Carrey
That
at
is
Mardi Gras.
hilarious.
Yeah, anyway. All right. Millennial Match Game continues. What's the score, Deb Green? I've
We're
lost
all
track.
tied up at 1-1.
All right, and it is now JJ's turn. JJ, the Hangout, Millennial Match Game TV Hangouts, Nemo's Pizza. Nemo's Pizza. What television show had a TV hangout named Nemo's Pizza? Do you think Nicole will know?
I'm going to give her a yes on this.
Ooh, all right. Nemo's Pizza, Nicole. You look...
Nicole.
It sounds so
all
familiar.
right, pizza.
I know the answer.
So pizza... Very good, by the way, Autumn. Who eats pizza?
Me.
Are you? Who created pizza?
The Italian.
Okay, so there's a hint.
Right?
An Italian
That's
show.
right. That's a good.
What kind of cheese do you put on it?
Mozzarella.
No, the shaky kind.
The shaky.
Parmesan.
The other one.
All right. Well, that's enough. That's enough.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Welcome back, Cotter is a
we
great
got
guest.
it.
No, it is.
I'm not Italian.
Hi, I'm Ray, and I live here in Long Island with my wife, Deborah.
Yeah, everybody loves Raymond.
Kids, the house, everything.
Raymond, by the way,
Yeah,
has
that's a
become
good
a
show.
sex symbol, apparently. Did you hear about this?
Not for me.
Well, maybe not for you, but for, I think, our moms, maybe? Like Ray Romano.
A lot of moms.
A lot of moms are...
Is it after the Netflix show he was in?
Yeah, something. I don't know, but Ray Romano is like now considered a hottie, so there you go.
Yeah, they don't know what I look like with my shirt off.
All right, the millennial did not know, but she should have known. All right, here we go. Dan, this TV hangout was called the Peacock Stop. The Peacock Stop. Will millennial Nicole know what TV hangout was the Peacock Stop?
No way.
Yeah, no way at all. Peacock Stop. I wouldn't have gotten this one either, Nicole.
No way.
Take a guess. Peacock. Peacock.
Which is NBC's
Yeah,
logo.
so give me an NBC show.
Seinfeld.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
West Philadelphia,
I wouldn't.
on the playground is where I spend most of my days.
Autumn is dancing right now. All right. Very good. Very good.
They were up to
Millennial Match Game
Trouble in
continues.
Good.
Whose turn is it, Deb Green? I'm sorry.
It is JJ's turn.
All right, JJ, here we go. The hangout was Rosie's Bar. Rosie's Bar. Will millennial Nicole, 20 some odd years young, know a TV show had a hangout called Rosie's Bar?
Oh, come on. You got to get this one. I'm going to give her a yes again.
Yeah,
Wow.
you got a lot of confidence in Nicole, who is
Pretty popular.
very smart, adorable, recently married, clutch member of the digital team. Rosie's Bar, Nicole. What?
Cheers?
Ah,
Cheers. No.
Cheers was... The hangout was Cheers.
Was the bar.
Yeah,
Was the bar.
that was the hangout. The whole hangout was Cheers. What's
Yeah.
sad is you actually guessed this one earlier.
No.
MASH.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Where ugly
baby.
Korean War doctors got really hot nurses in the 70s on MASH.
so sorry, guys.
Rosie's Bar. All right, who's up next there, Deb Green?
It is JJ's turn.
JJ, here we go. Lanford Lunchbox is the name of the hangout. Lanford Lunchbox. What do you think? Will she know what TV show
this one.
was Lanford Lunchbox?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm with you. Lanford Lunchbox.
I have no
Hey,
idea.
this one's not so hard either. So.
Oh, Roseanne.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Is that when they opened the Loose Meat restaurant?
Yeah.
That's when that show jumped the shark, when they opened up a Sloppy Joe's restaurant. All right, end of round 2 Millennial Match Game. Deb Green, what's the score, my friend?
2-2. Sorry, Dan.
Tied up 2-2. We'll come back and finish up Millennial Match Game. It's Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler and the Doctrine, there, folk, on WSB.
Let's play Millennial Match Game.
Final round of Millennial Match Game. Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler. My own personal Vanna White, Deb Green. What's the score and who's up, Deb?
All right, 2-2 with Dan's turn.
All right, Dan, you guys are performing, messa. Dan, these are TV hangouts. Will Millennial Nicole know this famous TV hangout? The hangout was called the Tropicana Club. The Tropicana Club. Will Millennial Nicole know a TV show had a hangout called the Tropicana Club?
Yeah, Nicole started strong, but I think she's fading fast. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, when in doubt, the Millennial doesn't know. The Tropicana Club. What famous TV show hangout was that, Nicole?
I have no idea.
The name of the game is to guess, Deb Green.
So-
Nicole Bennett.
Love Boat.
That's a great guess. Not right. Lucy. I Love Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, I
got to go to the club. Have you ever seen a single episode of I Love Lucy?
Yes.
You're lying. I can tell.
Parts
of an episode. Yeah.
Wah.
You had to have seen the candy episode, right? When they're in the candy factory.
The winemaking.
Oh, when she's splashing in the grapes? Yeah, all right. So you at least know of the show.
Let's go get liquored up.
All right, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Deb Green, who's up right now?
It's JJ's turn.
JJ, here we go. TV Hangouts. Will Millennial Nicole know what TV show had a hangout called Rob's Place? Rob's Place.
Odds on bet says no, sir.
Yeah, when in doubt, the Millennial doesn't know Rob's Place. I'll give you a hint. It's a 70s show. Rob's Place. It was not Cheers. Give me a 70s TV show.
Yeah.
Taxi.
Nicole, I don't
knew
know
you were going to
what's
say Taxi,
going
by
on.
the way. Kudos for you saying Taxi.
Okay.
It was not Taxi, though.
Oh, that's my favorite.
What's happening? With Rerun,
what
Shirley,
is happening?
Rob's Place.
Rob's Place.
Remember when they bootlegged the Doobie Brothers?
You've never heard of What's Happening. Oh, my goodness, Nicole, I love you.
She watched What's Happening Now.
All right, final question. This is for JJ?
This is for Dan.
Dan, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Deb. The final TV show hangout was called The Double R. The Double R. Will Millennial Nicole know what TV show had the hangout The Double R?
No, sir.
Yeah, no way in hell. I wouldn't have known this one, Nicole. No pressure. The Double R. Give me your favorite TV show of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah. Just take a
Breaking
guess.
Bad.
Really? Not
Sure.
The Office?
Or The Office.
All right.
Sorry.
Neither of those correct. Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Oh,
I knew that one.
I do enjoy Twin Peaks.
Yes, we've heard.
Do you actually watch the shows? Or?
I appreciate it.
Tammy!
I have heard of it.
Some of these were pretty tough because I didn't get a lot of these, but I would have
This
gotten.
theme is so haunting.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of Millennial Match Game. Deb Green, what's the final score?
All right, JJ 3, Dan 4.
Do we have tickets for winners?
We do. I have tickets for winners
All right.
today. In fact, we have tickets for both of them if you would like.
All right, tell the folks what they won,
All
Deb
right,
Green.
both of you are going to go check out Chicago and Rick Springfield July 2nd at Ameris Bank Amphitheater.
Oh, dang. All right.
All right. Sounds
Congratulations, Dan. You guys did great. Nicole Bennett, not Emmett, was that was your poorest Millennial
That
Match Game
was.
performance
I'm
of all
so
time.
sorry.
It's rusty, though. You haven't been on in a while.
That's true.
You can hear Nicole with Jared and Christina and Randy on the Power Pod.
That's right.
Go ahead and plug your show there, Yami.
We start on February 29th on our sister station, WGAU Athens. New episodes drop on all your favorite podcast providers Thursday mornings at 8 a.m.
All right, good job. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Let's go to Matt in Atlanta talking about the clergies dropping a dime on confessions. Matt, thanks for hanging on, buddy. What's going on?
Hey, man. First of all, it's good to hear you in the morning.
Thank you, buddy.
Used to hearing you in the afternoon, and I love the Von Hessler show, so especially the team. I probably love the team more than I love Von Hessler. You guys
Wow,
are
that's
awesome.
the common theme here, that the subordinates are more beloved.
Well, they're super talented. I love all the caricatures that you guys do. Hey, listen, I just wanted to weigh in, just mainly for those of you who are listening, that as clergy, we are court-mandated reporters under the laws of Georgia. So there are some things that we have to report to the proper authorities. It's not everything, and it's definitely not like
Autumn's double tip
you
isn't
cheated on
that's
your wife
not,
or something like
yeah.
that.
It's got to be a
Those are
capital
things-
crime.
Exactly. And it has to be, and specifically the law in Georgia states that we are required in the cases of the abuse of elderly or disabled
Gotcha.
or children.
Father Matt, I got to run. Thanks for the clarification. We'll come back after news, weather, and traffic. Would you rather on the Von Hessler Doctrine? 10:37, 49 degrees on Peachtree Street. Mark Airman for EVH, who's recovering. We heard from his doctor earlier in the show. You might have remembered him from Cannonball Run. We wish him well. I am honored to be here till noon. The Mark Arum Show, you can catch Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. here on WSB Radio. Before we start playing Would You Rather, we got a little breaking news here.
Where is Hector?
So during the commercial break, Tim, Andrew, and I were brainstorming, and he casually mentioned that you had plans tonight, Tim Andrews. What are your plans tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm going with my brother to see AEW, the new wrestling league started by Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, I just saw the note on that, yeah.
So I was a huge wrestling fan growing up. I mean, I'm talking about the era of Bob Backlund, Andre the Giant, the Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan. But when I found out that wrestling was fake, I stopped being a fan. How are you, at your advanced age, still a wrestling fan? I don't.
Wow, shade.
Well,
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
I'd watch wrestling every Saturday and Sunday. It was on all day. WWF at the time and NWA.
Okay.
Because we just got TBS. I'm like, more wrestling?
Yeah.
And my grandfather would say to me, "Why do you watch that, Timmy? It's fake." And I said, "No, they're really hitting each other." He goes, "No, it's not like it was in the 50s.
Yeah.
So
he thought it was real in the 50s.
And he did think it was real then.
Bruno Sammartino.
You knew that it wasn't real, but it was still exciting. It was a soap opera.
Yeah.
It was a soap opera for kids and guys, and that's how I figured. In the 80s and 90s were the golden age. So I don't really pay attention to WWE.
Yeah.
But I like this new league because it's more in the mold of the old way of doing things.
Now,
Does
Tony,
that answer your question?
You said Tony Schiavone started it?
He and some other people, yeah.
No, I know he's announcing it, but I don't think he was like
I think
an
so.
investor on the ground.
Well, I don't know about
floor.
the money.
Yeah, okay.
I assume he's a starter.
So
Have you heard of the bad guys named the Librarians?
No.
They come out and they shush the crowd.
Really?
Yeah, it's really funny.
So when I was a kid, I was a huge fan. I mean,
I like Chris Jericho. Let me interrupt you, but I love Chris Jericho, and he's in this league.
I liked baseball and wrestling the same amount. And if you know how big of a baseball fan I am, that's how much.
Yeah, you got all those baseball cards.
Well,
out
my
there.
dad looked like George the Animal Steel, so I had an affinity for him. I love the Samoans, the tag team, the Moondogs.
Oh, they would eat the bone. The Moondogs would chew on the bone.
Yes, and I mean, Bob Backlund was from Connecticut, where I was from, so it was like he was my favorite. But I swear, once I got to the age where I realized that it was not real, like it just my love for it just evaporated. It's weird, and I never watched it again. Like to this day, I've never watched wrestling. So I'm not throwing shade, as Autumn said. I was just curious how you kept that fandom going after knowing that it wasn't real.
Well, like I said, it was a soap opera and it was fun. And the WWE got real dirty in the 90s, so that's when I kind of abandoned it. But this is good.
And if you're going to make that comparison with what's going on with the Houston Astros and MLB, isn't it a show too? It's fake. It was. Yeah. So basically,
Jared
wrestling and
Markakis.
baseball are basically the same. I'm upset
don't
with
get
what's
me
going
started
on.
on those freaking Astros. What a bunch of cheating SOBs they are. Strip that title. Just take it away.
They need to.
Strip that thing. That's
Who'd they play that year? Dodgers?
The Dodgers.
Give it to the Dodgers.
I just leave it vacant.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like when they took, what's his name, Heisman away? Reggie Bush.
Oh, yeah.
And USC, they stripped USC of the title. Just leave it vacant.
Yeah.
No one won the World Series in 2017. Anyway, I was just curious because I would love to still be a fan of pro wrestling, but since I was like 13, I just stopped watching wrestling.
I mean, they're really athletes. They do a lot of hard work and they get hurt. and they cut themselves in the forehead with a razor blade, so you think they're bleeding.
Did you have, so you and I grew up in the similar area in the northeastern United States, and in between like the big WWF productions, they would have little small things.
Well, they'd play high schools.
So they came to Torrington High School in probably like 1985 or 6, and the big draw was Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe I was seeing Sergeant Slaughter in person, the Cobra Clutch, if you remember. And I remember walking out of there just like
floored, right?
That was the greatest day of my life, Dad.
Do you remember Morocco, Magnificent Morocco?
Oh, yeah.
He came and wrestled Buddy Valentine or something like that at the Southside High School in Elmira, New York, which is probably smaller than where you grew up.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Anyway, I didn't want to sell you out on the air. I was just genuinely curious.
I'm a fan of a lot of things that are worse.
All right, let's do Would You Rather with Little Sanjay.
He's not lying.
It's anyway. He's there. We go.
It's time for Would You Rather with Little Sanjay.
He is the guru, the soothsayer, the truth seeker, the asker of unanswerable questions. He joins us every Tuesday and Thursday on the Mark Arum Show. Today's a Wednesday, so he's pulling double duty, triple duty. It's Little Sanjay and Would You Rather. How are you, Sanj?
I'm doing well. It's nice to talk to you when the sun is up.
Yeah, a little daytime edition of the Mark Arum Show. So it's basically a very simple game. Sanjay's going to ask us questions. We're going to answer them in studio. I want you to feel free to play along in your car. What is the first question, Sanjay?
All right, number one. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or have to believe everything you heard?
Oh, that's a tough one as a poker player. Because I can't believe everything I hear at the poker table, because then you'll never win. But I can't lose the ability to lie. That is way too important for me. So I'd rather lose the ability to tell when people are lying to me. That would be my answer. Autumn, you're up next. You look confused, young lady.
Well, okay. So yeah, I would do if everybody lost the ability to lie. I think that's what I would do. I can't understand.
You can't tell when someone's lying to you.
I can't tell when someone's lying. The way that it's worded is real confusing. What are the two again?
Repeat it for Autumn.
Okay. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or have to believe everything you hear?
Yeah, to believe everything you hear, that would be horrible.
So you'd rather lose the ability to lie?
Yeah,
well, you're an honest gal anyway. All right. Deb Green?
I think I will just believe whatever people tell me.
That's what I'm thinking. I need to be able to lie. I have to be. You ever see Liar Liar with Jim Carrey when you can't tell a lie? That goes downhill real quick.
Well, I'm a very honest person, so I would easily lose the ability to lie. Easily.
Because you don't lie very often is what you're saying.
Honest person.
Tim Andrews?
I would give up the ability to lie because I'm better at avoidance, so I can get away from people and not have to go one way or the other.
Did you not see Liar Liar?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah. But I'm not, I would just stay home.
You would just deflect.
Which is what you want to do already.
Exactly right.
So it's a win-win.
Next question, Sanjay.
All right, number two. Would you rather read your most embarrassing internet search history publicly one time or always have to take cold showers?
Like, what do you mean read it one time? Like to a national audience? How does that work? All right.
Make it public.
Like a
one
State
time,
of the Union.
Very public.
So that people would see me perusing Jared's girlfriend's Facebook account. That'd be embarrassing. Some other off-putting websites.
You don't even know her name. You're just like Jared's girlfriend's Facebook.
Pops right out.
I want to keep her anonymous. I hate cold showers, though. I'll publicly broadcast my internet history because cold showers are just awful. For the rest of my life, I couldn't do that. Autumn?
Yeah, I would read my embarrassing search history. I mean, it's something everybody. It has to be something sexual, right?
Yeah.
Everybody if you're going to be embarrassed by something you search. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Have you seen them? You'd be searching for them, too, if you would have caught a glimpse.
Absolutely.
Tiny nipples.
Deborah Green, executive producer of The Mark Arum Show.
Tim Andrews has made me search for some very dark, disgusting things in our work history together.
Hey, that's the old days.
In our history together, but it was all work-related, so I will let people know the awful things that I had to do for work.
All right. Fair enough. Jared, this is a good one for you.
Can I ask a technical question?
Absolutely.
How cold is cold? When you say cold shower,
Very cold.
Very cold.
Only the cold water is on. No.
A lot of shrinkage, Jared. A lot of shrinkage.
Oh, God.
That shouldn't matter to him.
I mean, I don't mind. I actually, believe it or not, from doing camp as a kid, I don't mind cold showers. I don't. But If it's just one time, I got to read my internet search history. If it's, I can deny it. I can say, hey, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, that's not the point.
Yeah, no, you have to.
You have to
wasn't
own it.
me.
We're gonna scroll.
Get in your
People
shower.
will know. People
Okay,
will know.
I go with the search history. Go with it.
Oh, obviously the search history. I'm not embarrassed.
Yeah, cold showers are really bad. If you've ever forgotten to pay your Georgia Power bill, like yours truly, or your Gas South bill, and you have to deal with cold showers for 3 days while they reconnect your service, just awful. Just
I'll
awful.
go to the gas station.
That was a good question, Sanjay. All right, next one, buddy. Gas station.
All right, number 3.
The Flying J.
Would you rather have freedom or safety? You got.
I'm gonna channel my inner William Wallace and go freedom. Yeah, Braveheart, freedom, baby.
I think safety, because then even if there isn't freedom, you're safe from any of the consequences.
Deborah Green.
I think if I have freedom, I'm allowed to protect myself from bad things, so I'll go freedom.
All right.
I'm a patriot. Give me freedom.
Freedom or death.
Freedom. Kissing butt.
Yeah, that was a good one. So do you want to take back your answer? Autumn?
No.
You're sticking with your guns.
Bring it. Lock my door.
Well, you're a mom, right? You're a mom.
That's true.
Yeah,
I have
so
to protect my babies.
You've got to protect the cubs.
I gotta protect. When people get real serious, they don't call their kids kids.
Yeah.
They call them children.
Yes.
I have to protect my children.
My children.
I have to put food on the children's table.
Next question, Sanjay.
All right, number 4. Would you rather have big muscles and be very weak, or appear very weak but be very strong?
Alan Hunt, you're up first. Have big muscles but be weak, or have no muscles but be really strong? I want to be buff. I want to look buff once in my life, so I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with a lot of muscles but actually be very physically weak.
I think that's the wrong way to go, because then people will shame you for not being able to pick
I
up
can
this
deal
chair
with
for them
shame.
or something.
I can deal with shame. I can't deal with this back fat anymore. So.
Oh boy, you're
boy,
you're getting married. Nobody cares about that love handle.
No,
you know why it's called a love handle? Because it's for love.
No, I mentioned the back fat, not the love handles. They're two different things.
What's the difference?
He has back fat. It just drips off his body.
It's just
you should see it drags it around.
Yeah.
What a description, Tim.
Yeah, you don't want. Deborah.
No,
Green.
I would want to be look weak, but
be
actually be very strong
to protect your children.
Like an ant.
To protect your children.
My children. I agree. If I look weak, but then I need to defend myself, everybody will think, "Oh yeah, what's she gonna do?"
Yeah.
You're
I could
really
take
into
'em down.
defending yourself.
Yeah, Deb Green is very, very
I
cautious.
have to be.
Cautious lady.
I
I
have
like
to
it.
be.
Jared Yamamoto, the most in shape member of the Von Hessler doctrine. What are you going to
Excuse me?
say?
How dare you?
Male member, the most in shape male member of the Von Hessler
No,
doctrine.
he's all together.
I don't. This is hard because
You need,
I'm the
you need
youngest.
the muscles for show. I mean, Christina's not going out with you if you have skinny little arms.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I'm also
she'll
the
break
youngest.
right up with you.
I'm the
She's
youngest.
only with you because of your muscly arms.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest member of the doctrine, so to be weak for the rest of my life would stink. But I got to go with appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim Andrews.
Oh, I'm going to be the little wiry guy that can kick
That
your
can
butt.
kick butt. Little Buscemi arms.
Little
but you're-
Irish boy.
But you've got Lou Ferrigno inside
Yeah.
you. Believe it or not, Sanjay is the official accountant of the Mark Arum Show. It is tax season. If you need your taxes done, Sanjay's got you covered. You can find him on Facebook. It's Brass Tax Accounting or simply brass.tax. Thank you for the daylight hours. Would you rather, Sanjay?
You bet. Take care.
There he is. Coming back with your calls on pro wrestling, and I have a new topic that I want to introduce. Thank you, Jared. It's Mark Arum for Eric Von Hessler on WSB. Coming up, we got news, weather, and traffic again. Sabrina Cupid, WSB health reporter, in the news booth getting ready to go. I might need to talk to our health reporter. So last night, my fiance Maya made me a homemade dinner because I was on early filling for Erickson. And I'm trying to do this low-carb thing, so she made turkey meatloaf and asparagus and mashed potatoes made out of cauliflower.
Oh, I love that.
They were delicious.
Yeah.
But what I found out today is that might be the most gas-causing food on the face of the earth.
Cauliflower.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness. Like more gas than I had post when they checked my nether regions. What was that? Colonoscopy.
Ooh.
Have you had a colonoscopy yet,
I
Tim?
have.
Were you as gassy as I was when you came out of that?
Yeah, but that might be because when I got out of it, my dad asked where I wanted to go to lunch, and I said McDonald's.
I said KFC.
Yeah.
I said,
and I had two quarter pounders and all that.
So real quick, I wake up from the stupor. I look up at the nurse. I'm like, nurse, I got to run to the bathroom. She's like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, trust me. She goes, there is nothing in you. She goes, you just have gas. Let it go. 9 minutes later, I was like, oh, thank you. All right. It was that anyway. So I'm going to talk to Sabrina and see about this cauliflower mashed potatoes. When we come back, your calls and Johnny Kilbasa with a fast food review. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. In for Eric Von Hessler on WSB. Hour 3 of The Doctrine starts right now. I'm getting the hang of it.
You got it, man.
Mark Arum in for the ill Eric Von Hessler. Oh, Jared raises his hand. What's up?
Got some news from Eric. He actually texted me during the last break. He says he will be back tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. All right, so everything's okay.
I'm feeling better.
Does he legitimately, this is a serious question, because I know he's anti-social media, et cetera, et cetera. Does
he hates social media.
He knows how to text you?
He knows how to text.
Wow, interesting. All right, so I have his number, so if I text him, he will theoretically answer me.
You would think.
All
Although
right.
he's the king of the thumbs up emoji.
That's fine.
That's his best one.
As long as I get a response, that's fine.
Do you text him a lot?
I've never tried because I literally thought he didn't. I thought he had a flip phone that didn't have text capabilities. To be honest,
he will not text you back.
Isn't he all about like the latest phones?
Yeah, I mean he's got the whole
he
Apple
loves the
ecosystem.
iPhone, yeah.
He's got the iPad.
Here's the deal. We're gonna do a wager.
Mm-hmm.
In the next break, I'm gonna text him.
Okay.
And $5 says he texts me back.
15 minutes. We'll give it a time.
Yeah. Till the end of the show.
Can you all text him and see who he responds to first?
No, I don't want to go.
No, he'll respond to Jared.
He's he's recuperating.
Well, I asked him a very personal question. He hasn't answered back yet.
All right, I can answer for him. No, I won't answer for him. I have a standard reply to that, but it's probably not suitable for daytime hours.
Why not?
It's just this is the daytime,
this
this family
is the
time
doctrine.
radio.
You can say it.
No, I'll hold back. All right, so the topic I wanted to talk about, and I didn't prep for this, and Jared didn't prep for this. We were having fun with Tim doing his President Trump as the Pope earlier, which was very, very funny. But I got to thinking, like, win or lose this next election, 2020. And if you ask me, I say right now, if the election's held right now, President Trump beats all of the Democratic contenders. But that's neither here nor now. Whether he wins or not, what's the post-Trump life after the presidency? Right? So if you look at Jimmy Carter has adopted this, building homes, and he's the Sunday school teacher, and he's, living back in Plains, and Bill Clinton is basically a pocketbook for Hillary. Like, that's his role now.
I never closed my mouth.
I know George Bush, he's back in Texas, right? He's keeping a low profile. He paints. Barack Obama just hanging out, posting.
He's got Netflix specials.
Yeah, writing a book.
He's at Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, but I can't imagine President Trump like just fading into the distance post-presidency. So I want to open up the phone lines. I'm being honest. You can be funny, whatever. But I'd like your honest opinion. What does the Trump life look post-presidency? What do you think he'll do, whether he's out of office in 2020 or 2024 or 2028 or 2032, whatever might happen? What do you think his life is like, and what's Donald Trump going to be like after the presidency?
I'm going to take the easy one. I think, hands down, he's going to start his own news network up, and he's going to try to gobble up all of the Fox News talent and bring it over there and start the TNN, the Trump News Network.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
Not for me. I pay people. I pay people to do it.
I think I don't think he's going to do anything that elaborate, but I think he might go back to the reality television world. I think think of what the networks might pay for a Trump reality show.
You think they would do that? He won't go to the networks. They've treated him too poorly. He'll do his own thing.
I don't know. I think he still loves NBC because they resurrected his career with The Apprentice, right?
Yeah, but they've been trashing him ever since he announced he was going for the presidency.
I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword.
I think money talks. And
there was a couple clips.
Yamamoto walks.
There were a couple clips last week where he was saying that NBC News is even worse than CNN to him.
They're horrible.
All right.
Al Roker.
So I just thought of that. I'm very curious to see what you think. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Let's do a fast food review with our buddy Johnny Kilbasa while we screen the calls. Tim, you're familiar with the fast food review.
Oh, yes.
Jared, you're familiar with the fast food review.
Absolutely.
Autumn, are you familiar with the fast food review?
Yeah, I've been on the show when we've done it before.
All right. I'm just trying to kill time for Alan to find the intro.
Remind me, what is that? I forget.
All right, let's find out.
And now, on the Mark
such a good
Arum
team player,
Show,
Otto.
it's time for the Fast Food Review.
Morning.
Good morning, Johnny K. Joining us live on the Greasy Salty Hotline from parts unknown, height unknown, weight. Oh, ha, ha, ha. We do not want to know. Johnny Kilbasa and the ever so popular Fast Food Review. How you doing, Jonathan?
If you're familiar with the Fast Food Review, you're familiar with the fact that I'm covered with bacon. I'm here for the taking. I'm covered with cheese, and I aim to please, and all that other good stuff. Whew. I'm not up usually this early in the morning, Mark, but it's great to be here with all y'all.
I appreciate that, my friend, for getting up during the daylight hours to do a fast food review. So basically, Johnny Kilbasa, for the last 15-plus years in the Mark Arum Show, has broken down either breaking news in the fast food world, or he's reviewed new items in the fast food world, or
I've digested every fast food.
Exactly.
thing in
He
the
is
world.
the foremost expert on fast food in the entire world. You hear him exclusively here on WSB Radio. Without further ado, Johnny, what's on the menu this morning?
I like to put a lot of flexibility in my schedule for you, Mark, and I also like to put a lot of flexibility in what goes down as fast food. I usually talk about everything and anything, but let's go to the pizza world for a minute, because there's something new over there that I want to talk about for a minute, and that's Papa John's Papadillas. Now, they're calling them kind of like a pizza sandwich. Papadillas doesn't mean quesadilla. I think it's named after some sort of toasted Italian flatbread sandwich. So what they're doing here is they're taking a little flatbread type of crust, a thin crust. They're putting a couple pizza things on top of it, folding it in half, cutting that in half, calling it a sandwich, charging you $6, and saying, hey, come on down for a quick lunch at Papa John's on your way down the road. They're giving you 4 different kinds of varieties here. You got your Italian papadilla, you got your Philly cheesesteak papadilla, a grilled barbecue chicken and bacon for those lighter pizza eaters, and then the meatball pepperoni for people like you.
So I just Googled it. It's spelled Papadillas, Papadillas.
Right.
And I looked at them, and it basically, you're right, Johnny. It's a sandwich. It looks like that doesn't look like real pizza dough to me. It looks like a quesadilla,
Looks like a bad hot pocket,
or a bad hot pocket.
Isn't that redundant?
But I'm intrigued. So this is post the real like the original Papa John's out right now. This is Shaq's outfit, or according to someone, Tony Schiavone is investing heavily in Papa John's now.
Is he?
I don't know. But
it could be the greatest pizza of all time.
This is I don't know. I mean, I've kind of moved on from Papa John's. I've moved more toward Domino's, because I think it's a
Most people have, and that's
Yeah.
why they're doing stuff like this, Mark. So if you see this thing coming out of the conveyor belt oven at Papa John's, you're going to say, that doesn't look like a sandwich. That looks like a little personal pizza. But when the magic happens,
they
say,
flip it
"I'm gonna
over."
fold it over.
Yeah.
cut
Wow,
it
they
in half and
folded
call a
it.
sandwich. Now,
Wow.
All right, so of the 4, Johnny, let's say I want to dip my toes in the Papadillas water. Do I go with the Philly cheesesteak, the grilled barbecue chicken and bacon, the meatball and pepperoni, or the Italian? Which one do you suggest I try first?
meatball pepperoni should be batting lead off, because they do put nice big chunks of meatballs in there along with your standard pepperoni. So you're going to get a nice meaty, cheesy bite out of it. Luckily, the crust isn't so thick that it's almost like eating a calzone. It's not almost like eating a calzone. It's more like eating a crispy flatbread sandwich.
It's
So
almost like a panini on steroids. Now, would Autumn's children, would they be satisfied with this if she, got lazy one night and didn't want to cook the standard American traditional
homemade
dinner?
from scratch dinner.
Yeah, I think the kids will like the fact that they give you a little sidecar of pizza sauce in there, so the kids will have fun. You pick it up, you dunk it.
Great,
you get
it
it
spills all
the
over
place.
them. It's all over the car. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
Love
eat it in the
Good
car.
time.
Jeez. Jared Yamamoto, as a millennial, does not cook at home.
No, not at all.
Does this intrigue you, the Papadillos?
I'm a Domino's guy now.
Yeah.
I've got brand loyalty. There's so many good pizza restaurants around town that it doesn't
like
intrigue
Domino's.
me. I'm saying if I have to go to a chain pizza restaurant like that, I would pick Domino's over going to Papa John's.
You
now.
guys should check out this little pizza haunt I call Aldi. They have.
Don't ruin it.
I know. I don't. You're right. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want it to get so popular that a lot of people are doing
Love
it.
the
But
savings, all these. Real quick, funny Domino story. My buddy Brandon got married in 1997 in Wilmington, North Carolina. The kicker of the story, he actually turned out to be gay. So, yeah, that was like 4 years
Okay.
down. But, we all go to Wilmington, North Carolina, this cozy little beach city, and he sends out an email of, where you can go to eat. And in the email, I swear I have the email printed out somewhere. He said, I quote, "The Domino's in this town is amazing." like the Domino's in that town is better than any other Domino's in the country. It was pretty remarkable. Anyway, all right, I'm intrigued. I'll give Papa John's a shot with the Papa Dios.
And for the record, it's the same price as your $5.99 Domino's specials. I think that's the big brick wall that Papa John's is trying to penetrate with this, because everybody knows that's the best deal in pizza when you open up your Domino's app and you order your $5.99 stuff by the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 things.
It's fantastic. And with the app, and then they're always like, "Do you want to add a dessert?" Hell yes, I want to add a dessert. Thank you very much. Johnny K, we appreciate you as always. And
if the cholesterol's high, baby, so am I. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and listen to the Sausage Talk podcast on any pod app or JohnnyKilbasa.com.
all things Kilbasa on JohnnyKilbasa.com. Appreciate you, bruh.
Anytime, bro.
When we come back, your calls. What will President Trump's life be like post-presidency? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. On Twitter and Instagram, at Mark Arum. In for Eric Von Hessler with the Dr. Nayers on WSB. Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler. Things have dried out here in the WSB courtyard. Kirk Mellish's full forecast, as you mentioned, coming up in just about 10 minutes. All right, time to get political, folks. We have the Democratic debate tonight, right?
That's right.
All right, but we will not carry it live because
we have
basketball.
Bulldogs games.
No one cares.
Six candidates on stage. We'll have complete debate show wrap-up with Jamie Dupree and Scott Slade tomorrow morning on Atlanta's Morning News. And a healthy Eric Von Hessler will probably weigh in on the debate tomorrow. The politics angle I want to talk right now is eventually we assume President Trump will no longer be the president, whether it's after this election, the next election, or 4 elections down the road, depending on the rule changes. What will President Trump's life be post White House? What do you think it's going to be? I'm very curious. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Let's start with Mike, who's up on the Von Hessler doctrine. What's going on, Mike?
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Just a fun thought. Post second term, Trump, Putin, joint venture, Trump Tower in downtown Moscow, at which point Pelosi, Schiff, and Schumer's heads all simultaneously explode.
I like the idea, but do you think, on a serious note, do you think he goes back into the real estate biz, or do you think he sets his sights a little higher after that, right? I mean, from president of the world to, like, trying to close a condo deal, I just don't see that happening.
Let his kids run that. And I think he'd be doing the media thing, TV, and like you said, the possibly getting back into reality television. But if he does, he'll own it himself.
Oh, of course, yeah, he's got all the power now. Tim's up next on the Von Hessler Doctrine with Mark Arum. What's going on, Tim?
Hey guys, let me tell you something. It's great to talk to the doctrinaires. I got to say, Jarrett Yama Bad Mama Yamamoto, Tim and the Trump is the best Trump I've ever heard.
Thank you.
But number one is Autumn.
Oh yeah.
Duh.
You see, I've got this little Autumn webcam going on right here. I should. Can I take a picture of that, Autumn, and tweet it out?
Of course.
All right. I got a great little view of Autumn here. Yeah, she is. She's delightful.
And Mark, it's great when you host because we get to talk on the phone finally. Talk to the doctrinaires.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's a little surprise, a little treat for everybody that when I fill in, you get to actually chime in. But you guys do the open mics all the time, right? So
not all the time.
Oh, you don't use the mic?
No, Jared will bury him.
Here's the full disclosure. I go to bed at 10:30 in the morning every day because I have this weird schedule. So I will hear your guys' first hour, but I never hear anything after that, except when I'm driving into work at 4 in the morning when they replay the. So I don't get to hear the middle of the show, the meat of the show. But I'm assuming it's just as amazing as that first hour. Dan's in Decula wants to weigh in on the vacated USC title that we mentioned a while back. What's going on, Dan?
Hey there. Hey, doing pretty good. Yeah, listen, you touched briefly about that. And us Auburn fans out there, when you said vacating a title, Reggie Bush, obviously got his Heisman strip. They stripped the championship. Auburn was undefeated, the only undefeated team. We beat Virginia Tech in the bowl game. We thought, great, this is it. And then they said, no, we're just not going to have a champion this year. Sorry.
So I forgot that Auburn would have been next in line for the championship after
That's
the vacate.
right.
As an Auburn fan, are you okay with that, or you want that damn title?
No. I'm not an Alabama fan. I don't need to claim 18 million different titles. We just know we were the best team in the country.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever it is, and we're fine with that.
War Damn Eagle.
War Damn Eagle. That's right.
Yeah.
And by the way, for wrestling, I grew up in the epic battles between Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Roddy Piper, and those were the days.
Yeah. I think looking back on it, I don't know if you, Sim, did you see the documentary on Andre the Giant?
Oh, yeah.
Like that, he was my favorite. I mean, he was just literally the eighth wonder of the world. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Anybody want a peanut?
I mean it. Anybody want? All right, good job. Danielle joins us on the Mark Arum Show. Hello, Danielle.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent. What's going on?
Just a lot of driving. But I wanted to weigh in on Trump and what I think he's going to do after his presidency. And you're definitely on it with loftier views.
Yeah.
I think he's really going to get deep involved in the Space Force.
The Space Force. How do you mean deeply involved? What is he going to do?
Gonna build my own rocket and go live on the moon.
That's where I'm going with this. Yes, he's gonna. I think he's gonna try to fund and be, one of the first people to put people on Mars.
Now, say what you will about Donald Trump, but I think I've known about Donald Trump. Tim and I, growing up in the Northeast, we've known about Donald Trump our whole life.
Early 80s.
Yeah, and he doesn't strike to me to be the guy like, they're saying, oh, for $30 million, we'll send space tourists into space. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to do that.
No, he's not an Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's not a guy he's not like George W. Bush the elder who was skydiving at age 90.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't see him. But how would he be involved in the Space Force? I mean, maybe funding another competitor to Elon Musk, perhaps?
I get where you're going with that, but I don't think he has that kind of money. I really don't believe that he has that kind of money.
And especially if the parties flip, like if a Democrat gets elected president, then they probably wouldn't be likely to put him involved with the Space Force.
He's done with the government. There's nothing's going to happen in the government for sure. Interesting thoughts on what will President Trump's life be like post-presidency. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. We're going to go on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. I'm going to tweet out that picture of sweet little Autumn. Just a programming note. I'm usually asleep right now, so we're not doing a podcast today, right, Jared?
No podcast 30, but this will be available as a podcast on all of your podcast feeds later today.
And by the way, you can listen to the Mark Arum Show on podcast if you're not up at 6 p.m. and you go to sleep early. We'll come back after news, weather, and traffic. Mark Arum in for Eric Von Hessler. It's the Von Hessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Welcome back to the show. Democratic debate tonight. You will not hear it live on WSB Radio. You hear your Georgia Bulldogs, which means I only got a 30-minute show tonight, Yamamoto.
That's kind of stinks.
I'm preempted. No, it's fine. I'm exhausted. I filled in for Erickson last night, did TV this morning, and now doing the Von Hessler Doctrine, which has been a blast.
I can't tell, man. You don't look tired at all.
So real quick, we're going to get back to your calls on what is going to happen post-Trump presidency, but I think there's 6 candidates on the debate floor tonight, right, the debate stage, and the first time that Bloomberg will be on the debate, and you got to imagine that everyone's going to be firing rockets at that dude as he spent like $300 million already on ads. But the candidates that are left, Bloomberg, Sanders, Warren, Klobuchar, Buttigieg, and Biden, right? So those are the ones left. Am I
got
forgetting
Steyer, too.
Oh,
everyone has.
Yeah, exactly. But ironically, I think like there's no, not that you always expect a flawless candidate, but there's one glaring thing that President Trump can go after on each of these. So and there's so much infighting going on. Maybe I'm just it's the recency bias that I have, but I don't remember in 2016 this much animosity between the candidates. Like there was animosity between Trump and every other candidate, little Marco Rubio and Lion Ted Cruz, but like
low energy Jeb.
But the other candidates, there wasn't like fireworks between the others, right? It was kind of cordial and civil. But this seems like there's a lot of incestual battles going on in the Democratic stage. Anyway, that's tonight, and Scott Slade and Jamie Dupree will have a recap tomorrow morning on Atlanta's Morning News. What will President Trump's life be post-presidency? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. Joe is in Locust Grove. Joe, welcome to the Von Hessler Doctrine.
Thank you, Mark. I just want to say real quick, your last caller said about the kind of money that Trump has. they're right. He doesn't have the money Bezos and the others have. That's why I don't think Space Force and all that he'd be involved in. I think more he'd probably go back to developing hotels and resorts. And another thing, this is what everybody's really missing. And you better pray for President Trump, whether he's president or when he leaves office, because let me say this. They're not going to let this man rest till he's in his grave. He's going to need lawyers, good lawyers around him to the day he dies. And I think if I'm wrong about anything, I'm right about
you think
all.
the justice system's going to go after him after he leaves the Oval Office?
Absolutely.
Well, the key for him
the
then
Democrats
would be
go back in. They're going to do it.
The key for him would be let's say hypothetically he wins re-election this year.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I believe you're right. I believe he will at the moment. Now, anything could happen in 8 months. Now, we all know that, but at the moment he would.
The key after that, Joe, is will the immediate succeeding president be Republican? Because if let's just say Trump wins re-election this time, and then for the sake of argument, Mike Pence wins the following term, he'll be safe then. He's got that protection of a Republican in the White House. But if it's a Democrat in the White House, yeah, I think all bets are off. I think the justice system, he's burned a lot of bridges. I mean, a lot of it is on his own, but there's a lot of animosity toward him regardless of that. So I think, yeah, he's going to have to lawyer up, as Tim Andrews tells me to do every weekend. Lawyer up.
Lawyer up, Mark.
Mike's in McDonough. Michael, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, buddy?
Excellent. What's going on?
Well, I wanted to weigh in on the Trump thing after his presidency. First, I want to say I love hearing you in the 9 to 12 hour slot. You should consider doing a morning show and an evening show. Ratings goal, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to do a 24-hour podcast and just be available all the time.
Hey, that sounds good to me. And I think you and the Doctrinaires are a match made in heaven. I love it.
They're fun.
They're
fun folk.
Oh, yeah. So Trump, when he leaves office in 2024, he's going to do two things. I agree with the last caller. He's going to go back to doing what he was doing before he was elected without skipping a beat. And two, I think he's going to write a book, and I already know the title of that book, too. It's going to be The Art of the Presidency.
Ooh, I would take that wager. I think that's a good bet right there. Is he going to write it, or he's just going to, I mean, no. None of those celebrities write it. They just dictate it to somebody.
Ivanka.
I could see that. But here's another thing. Like, what I've learned from President Trump in the last 3 some odd years, that dude loves Mar-a-Lago. Like, I don't think he might be like a recluse. He might go, who was the billionaire recluse that built the wooden plane?
Howard Hughes.
He might go Howard Hughes, like not on an insane level.
I'm saving stuff in a jar.
Yeah, not that level, but like he might never leave the Mar-a-Lago property. You know, he loves that place so much. I wish I loved something as much as Trump loves Mar-a-Lago. Like that to me is his Shangri-La. He's going to I think whatever he does, business-wise, whatever, he's going to do it from that compound. He's never leaving Mar-a-Lago.
Never.
Have you been?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Jared, you ever been to Mar-a-Lago?
No, I've never been graced with that.
You fly in some fancy circles, though. Like
sometimes.
Yeah, I could see you getting an invite to Mar-a-Lago.
No EDM festivals there.
Hey, the closest one is Ultra in Miami.
Yeah.
So.
Molly never took you to Mar-a-lago?
She's great, but no. She's never taken me there.
Patrick Road somewhere.
Hey, Wes, you're on the air. What's up, buddy?
Okay. Well, no, I ain't did nothing. Okay, then.
All right, I think Wes just dropped an
I'm
S-bomb
gonna be on the
there.
radio.
While we ramp up the delay again, real quick before we go back to the phones, Jay Black quickly, WSB Radio Sports Director, Angry Jay Black. Your first initial takeaways of the Houston Astros cheating scandal, Jay?
Well, I don't think that they should be. Well, look at it this way. Houston Astros, they were cheating, and anytime anybody gets cheated, you vacate their title, or in this case, the World Series, the hunk of metal that they got, and I got to go with getting rid of them, and I think this is a weak, impotent commissioner. He's nothing like Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
Angry Jay Black joining us on the Yvonne Hessler Doctrine.
What do you think, Mark?
Angry Jay Black, real quick, turn your attention to the hometown Atlanta Braves. The experts from MLB picked them third in the NL East, and I was aghast when I saw that.
So was I, because I don't pick them any higher than fifth.
And that's why you're the WSB Radio Sports Director. All right, we got that thing ramped back up? All right. Dan's in Woodstock. Dan, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Living the dream, sir. What's cooking?
Trump, after he's out of office, will go back to reality television. It'll be something like Dog the Bounty Hunter, where he hooks up with Rudy and a bunch of folks and goes after corrupt politicians.
All right, I could see something like that. I think the more likely reality show is Donald Jr. and Eric doing a hunting show on the Outdoor Life Network, teaming up with O'Neill Williams.
Rich guys killing
animals.
animals.
I could see that. I tell you what, I think the brightest star post-Trump presidency is going to be Ivanka.
Oh, hands down.
Oh, yeah. I think
That's so nice.
not
you.
Yeah.
Not you,
I know,
Melania.
she's such a nice girl.
All right, we got one segment to go, right? Am I right
Yeah,
on this
one
clock?
more.
All right, one more to go. What will President Trump's life be post White House? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk.